For joining us today to welcome Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian is going to open it up with some brief comments, and afterwards we'll do a Q&A portion. If there are any questions in Spanish, I'll be on hand to assist with translating. And with that, Adrian, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, hello everyone. I just want to start off by just letting everybody know how excited I am, how happy I am to be joining the Mets for 2018. And, for me, my memories, playing in the National League all these years and going to Citi Field, even Shea Stadium before that, the Mets fans have always been incredible. They've always been a part of the franchise and, very, very passionate, and just love the atmosphere that they bring each and every day, and I'm so happy to be able to play behind them.
All right, and we'll go ahead and start with the Q&A portion. Operator, if you could give everyone the prompt.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a question at this time, please press star then the 1 key on your touch-tone telephone. If your question has been answered or you wish to remove yourself from the queue, please press the pound key. One moment for questions. And we have a question from Anthony Tacoma. Your line is now open.
Hi, Adrian. Welcome. I'm just curious where you are physically. I know you had the back trouble last year, but how do you feel health-wise, and what do you think, given that you'll be able to produce?
Yeah, no, thanks, Anthony. I feel really good right now. I've been really focusing on doing everything for my back this off season, and workouts have gone really well. Been doing a lot more Pilates because the doctors tell me that that'd be really good for my back. I've been doing a lot more stretching, and I'm so used to my whole career to doing heavy weights and and working out really hard. And this year has been a little bit of a change where I'm doing more Pilates, more stretching, more conditioning, a lot of water activity, water aerobics, and a lot of things like that. And also focusing on conditioning and obviously my core program for my back. So I've been feeling really good. It's responding really well, and I think for 2018 I'm going to continue to do that, and it'll be a good transition, and I think my body's going to respond well to it. So I'm looking forward to to doing everything I need to do so I can be healthy and be on the field.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our next question comes from Doug Williams. Your line is now open.
Adrian, what, if anything, have you been told about what your role will be with the Mets, and what's your mindset heading into spring training?
So I obviously speaking to Sandy and speaking to Mickey, my role is going to be first baseman on the team, and just be available off the bench in the games that I don't start. So I'm open and willing to do anything. Obviously, one of my big key points and going into, especially in spring training, is to work with Dominic on defense and just kind of the mindset and tell him all my experiences and everything I've done. So I'm looking forward to that adventure with Dominic as well, so I can help him become the best major leaguer he can be in the future, and obviously doing everything I can to help us win games so we can be in the playoffs and make a run like the team did 2 years ago.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you. And again, ladies and gentlemen, in order to ask a question, that's star then the 1 key on your touch-tone telephone. And our next question comes from Dan Martin. Your line is now open.
Hey, Adrian. Bobby Valentine said that he got along well with you, but he thought sometimes you might be too opinionated for your teammates. Have you ever heard anything like that from anyone that you've played with, or has it ever been a concern of yours that teammates might take what you say the wrong way?
You know what? I think Bobby was in the right there. I think going into that 2012 season, I heard a lot of people tell me that I had to be more of a vocal leader and do things that were out of context for me. I feel like I went into that season trying to make myself do something that I'm not used to doing. And I do agree with Bobby. I think I had a lot of opinions that year, but I don't think it is who I am. If you ask any of my teammates in San Diego or in LA, that's not the case. And after the 2011 season, when things went downhill towards the end, and there was a lot of pressure on the team in 2012, I felt like I became a person that I didn't want to be. And after the 2012 season when I was traded to LA, I made a commitment to myself to not be somebody that somebody else wants me to be and just be who I am. And I think that was the only season when I've been that person, and that I promise that is not who I am, and that's not who I'll be, and it's definitely not who I'm going to be with the Mets, because it's not me.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you. And our next question comes from Matt Hall. Your line is now open.
Hi, Adrian. Congratulations on the deal. I was just curious, just two things. What was it specifically about the Mets that appealed to you? And with regards to, you mentioned Dominic Smith, I mean, have they told you that it's an open competition at first base entering spring training?
Well, I mean, obviously, like I said, the city of New York, the Mets fans are incredibly passionate. I look forward to playing at Citi Field, like I said earlier. It's a great atmosphere, great city to play, great city to win in. It's a great team, a great roster, great pitching staff. A lot of great bats in the lineup, and I think the team has a real legit chance to compete, especially with the Nationals. And so I definitely do look forward to that challenge. I've been the player who, out of my 12 full seasons in the major leagues, I've been on 9 winning teams that have won, close to 90 games or more, won the division. And, so I know what it takes to win. So I look forward to that. I think my role will be, to help the team win. There is somewhat of a defined role as far as, starting, a good amount of games, but it's not set in stone. So I just look forward to going out there and being the best player I can be and helping the team win. And if my production is there, obviously I'm going to be in the lineup. So I know that, being on the field and being able to do the things I can do at a high level, I am a player that can put up great numbers, drive in runs, and help the team win. So for me, it's not about, it's always a competition, because no matter where you are, you're always going to compete, and you always want to see it that way. But for me, it's just about going out there, helping the team win, and putting up good numbers.
Thank you. And our next question comes from Alair Kepner. Your line is now open.
Yes, Adrian, I was just wondering, what was the experience like for you last year of, seeing the Dodgers go all the way to Game 7? You'd been there for so long and not getting a chance to, participate in that. What was that experience like for you?
I think it was a little different, obviously unique, because I wasn't on the field. I was told a couple of weeks before going into the playoffs that with my health at the time and everything, we sat down with the front office and we discussed what my participation would be with the team, and we all agreed that being that I would not be on any playoff roster because of the way that my health was a little up and down with my back. It was the team had a policy of first the league has a policy that if you're not on the team or on the taxi squad, you cannot be in the dugout. And the Dodgers have a policy that, if you're not in either of those, you can't be in the clubhouse either, which, makes it difficult to be on the field or in the clubhouse, at any point. So, it was, for me, it was unique to be able to watch them, from the TV and follow them. But it was also, fun in the sense where I get to, talk to JT, talk to Puig, talk to Doc and Andrew, and almost be a super fan and be there with them and the ups and downs and give advice from what I see on TV and almost in a sense be somewhat of a scout. So it was fun. It was exciting and I enjoyed it. I wish the team would have won Game 7, but some things don't always go perfect.
Were you watching in the clubhouse or like at home somewhere in Game 6 and 7?
Of the World Series?
Yeah.
I was in the suite in the stadium.
You were in the suite. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. And our next question comes from Abby Mastracco. Your line is now open.
Hey, Adrian. I just was curious what, if anything, you know about Dom Smith and what kind of a role have you taken on in the last few years with some of the younger players? I know Yasiel Puig has talked about how you've taken him under your wing before and taught him a lot about the game and just how to be a professional and stuff like that.
So, I got to play a little bit against him when I was in Vegas for rehab. I got to see his swing, his approach. He's got a very patient approach. He's got a beautiful swing. He can generate a lot of power. I think, that's as far as I know of him or have seen him in person. But I've heard great things about him. I've heard he's a great character guy, a great person. And so I look forward to just, talking through and walking with him. I've always made a point to work with the young kids because I feel like, when I was young, there was people that worked with me and then they helped me, become the best player I could be. So, that is my goal. For me, I'm not there trying to keep my job. Just like, if you were talking to Cody, I went in the DL because I felt Cody was a better player for the team. I didn't have to go to the DL at the time when I did. And I did it for the team and for Cody because I felt like he was the best guy for the team at the moment. So, for me, it's about helping him become the best player he can be. And just, in spring training, we're going to work a lot and talk a lot. And I look forward to it because I know he's a guy that was willing to learn from the few times I was able to talk to him at first base.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question at this time, please press star then the 1 key on your touch-tone telephone. And I'm not showing any further questions at this time.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us today. Adrian, thank you so much for your time. And operator, thank you for your assistance.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in today's conference. This concludes today's program. You may all